We're in our garage and test facility. Let's open the door and see what we've got behind here today. Looks like we've got ourselves an Acura. I would say an RDX. Sounds like the roof's going to cave in on me. Gotta get that roof fixed someday. Here's a view from the side. Nice looking vehicle. One of the roof's starting to fall on my head, so let's go outside in the playground and take a closer look. I gotta go down to Home Depot and get these walls fixed. Could use some paint too. This is the so-called street performance version, the A-Spec, although it's nothing more than graphics and show. The base price of an RDX is around $38,000. That's for the front-wheel drive, two-wheel drive unit. The A-Spec comes loaded with just about everything, standard equipment. Not supposed to be any options, but if we look at the window sticker, we see that's not exactly true. Here we go, 2020 RDX SH all-wheel drive A-Spec, $45,800. $400 for the extra paint. And there's the total tab. And here's all the standard equipment you get. I won't read it. You can just view it on your screen. A lot of stuff here. And yep, even more. By the way, if you like Honda products but want an SUV that's slightly cheaper, we tested this Honda Passport about 3 months ago. Right there. But if you want an SUV that's more expensive, we also tested the Infiniti QX60 SUV. We'll have a link for both of these videos at the end of this video. Just go to the end, click and watch. Or subscribe. And watch them all. The old V6 engine's long gone, replaced with a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, rated 272 horsepower, hooked to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is rated 21 in the city, 26 on the highway, and 23 overall. And keep in mind, this is an all-wheel drive version. The two-wheel drive gets 1 mpg more. If you want to shift for yourself manually, there are paddle shifters located on the steering wheel where they belong. This allows you to shift regardless of the steering wheel position, unlike the Italians who put them on the steering column, which means they can only be shifted when the car is traveling in a straight line. Paddle shifters are better. It's where they belong. Acura, you got it right. Thank you very much. If you want to liven up the shifting, there's a sport button on the drive button. Unlike other automatic transmissions, which usually have a stick shift located down here, this is a push button. And the push button has been controversial among some car testers. I don't know why. This is superior in every possible way. The disadvantage of having a shift stick, first of all, it takes up too much space, and secondly, you can get the wrong gear, especially if you're not looking. This is far superior. First of all, with push buttons, you're not going to get the wrong gear. It's almost impossible. Drive, neutral, reverse, and park. It's right there. You can't put it in the wrong gear. If you're looking, and if you're not looking, I'm looking at the road, I can still feel the differences because each button has a different feel. And it takes up no space. Consumer Reports magazine doesn't like this. They call it unintuitive, whatever that means. Sorry, this is a superior design, and I would like to see all transmission shifters be like this. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We also have a dynamic mode knob. Gives you snow mode, comfort mode, sport, sport plus. Take your pick. This is an excellent gauge cluster design. Lots of useful information in between the two main gauges. And one thing I like about this, there's minimum glare reflecting from the outside. Just a wee bit right there. Nothing serious. Like most modern cars nowadays, this engine has the start-stop system. That means when you come to a red light, put the brake on. The engine shuts off to save fuel. Once you hit the gas, the light turns green, you go. the engine comes back on again. A lot of people find this system annoying. There's a button here that turns it off. That's the good news. The bad news, when you do that, a big orange warning light comes on, which is the same color as the check engine light, which is just a few inches above. Now that's not good, because if you're driving, you're ignoring orange warning lights, you won't see the check engine light. That can cause an issue. This should be a different color. This is not a good idea. But there is a solution I'm going to give you because you watched this video. Just get yourself a roll of black tape. Rip off a small piece. There you go. The orange light's disappeared. You'll never see it again. Problem solved. The glove box is medium sized. You'll have more room if you take the owner's manual out and stick it somewhere else, of course. One feature I like about the RDX, the doors go all the way down, which keeps the entire rocker panel assembly squeaky clean, so you don't have to worry about getting dirt on your pants. If you live somewhere where there's a lot of snow, mud, and rain, this is a very good idea. If you plan on taking your RDX off pavement to do some off-roading, and you get the A-Spec, you might want to think twice, because this is where the spare tire goes, and as you can see, it doesn't come with a spare tire. You don't want to go out in the boonies without a spare tire. You might be stranded for a long, long time. Frankly, whether you're going off-road or staying on the street, it's always a good idea to have a spare tire. So if you buy one of these, I get with the dealer, get one hooked up before you drive off the lot. So let's open the rear hatch and see what's back here. And by the way, you can turn off the power and operate this manually. There's 30 cubic feet of storage space back here with the rear seats up. 58 with them folded down. We also have a storage compartment under here. Nice place to put a tire repair kit if you don't get the spare tire. I saved this for last, mainly because I don't care for it. The infotainment system, instead of being controlled by a stick, which works pretty good, we get finger touch, which doesn't work very good. If you're sitting still, I mean, it works okay. When you're cruising down the freeway at 75 miles per hour, driving over speed bumps, fighting crosswinds, using the fingertip for this doesn't always work well. First of all, you got to find the right icon, and you got to keep your finger at the constant pressure. If not, you might have to start over. It's just not as good as using a control stick. Also, programming your favorite radio stations is easy once you learn the system. Impossible if you don't know the system. It does take some practice to find out the proper procedure. Last year I had an RDX, was using this, and the first couple of days I just want to take a shotgun and blow this thing up, but after about 3 or 4 days of practicing, I got it right. If you buy the vehicle, in about a week you'll get it right too. But I do prefer a control stick instead of finger touch. That's just my opinion. See what works for you. The first half of this video, which is show and tell, and my complaining about stuff, is over. Second half, we're going to go out and do some real-world driving, get some fuel economy figures. And we'll start by taking these headlights out and see what they do. With 7 LED bulbs on each side, a total of 14, it better be impressive. It's dark enough, let's take these bulbs out and see what they do. Look pretty bright even on low beam, in which case we have 4 bulbs instead of 7. Here we got the low beam on the building 100 feet away, very bright, good height. Go to high beam, very bright in the middle. Looks good thus far. Here we have the brights on the building 300 feet away. Fantastic light. Bright, high, wide. Doesn't get much better than this. Go low beam. Reaches all the way. Good spread. Good illumination. These are excellent headlights. No complaints from me. Here's what the reverse camera looks like in the dark. It's a lot sharper in person than it looks like on the video. I don't know if we can make this larger. Looks okay to me. And going down, you can see all the controls light up very well at night. This camera wasn't made for dark, but I think it gives a pretty good view. And here's what the gauge cluster looks like. Excellent lights on the outside, excellent lighting on the interior. I have two words about the RDX power steering: light and quick. If you prefer sporty driving characteristics, you'll be happy. If you don't, you better pay attention, because one slight turn of the wheel, you might end up in the wrong lane. But I like the system. I think most people will. Even with a turbo engine and 10-speed automatic, this RDX isn't much quicker than the older V6 model they made years ago. If you hit the transmission in the sport mode, it can move out pretty good. This engine loves to rev. Decent brakes. For the past 33 miles, we've been driving this pretty hard. 0 to 60 times, lots of heavy city traffic. And here's our figure 14.7. I think that's the worst we're going to see. We're going to be doing some more practical fuel economy testing, so don't go away. I'm sure the figures have to be higher. I've driven these before. I know they will. I'm not supposed to be taking this off-road without a spare tire, so I'll delete all the off-road footage so there's no evidence. You can keep a secret, right? With all-wheel drive and good ground clearance, this does have the capability of going off in the sticks. Just make sure you get a spare tire. You should have a spare tire anyway. Just as bad getting stuck on the pavement as out in the sticks, right? We're going to go out and take a little night cruise on the freeway, see if we can get a good fuel economy reading. So we'll set everything to 0. And away we go. This RDX is a nice highway cruiser with one exception. The A-Spec vehicle gets a larger set of wheels and tires, 20 inches, over the stock wheels and tires. So naturally you're going to get some more thumping noises coming from the tires and wheels as you hit potholes and things. And make a bit of rumbling noise on rougher pavement, but it's not that serious to worry about. After all, this is a sporty SUV. Well, 34 miles at 75 miles per hour, 22.8 mpg. That's about what I got on the last RDX I did last year. More driving to come. These headlights do a great job of lighting up those road signs. A half mile down the road. If you do a lot of driving on backcountry roads at night, these are definitely the headlights for you. Lights up the whole countryside. And that's good because there are a lot of mountain lions and skunks out here, and I don't really want to hit either one. This is a sporty SUV, so let's put it in the sport mode and take some corners. See what this baby does. And I'd say it's doing pretty good thus far. Not bad for an SUV. About as good as many sports sedans I've driven back here. You can tell this is a Honda designed engine because it really screams and moves. No complaints about the performance. And this all-wheel drive is really hugging the road. Well, it looks like we've run out of pavement, and even though this is an SUV, you can drive off pavement. I think it's time to turn around. Too many strange creatures roaming out here at night. Not a good place to be. This RDX is a blast to drive on curved roads. I'm really enjoying myself. Makes me forget about that horrible touch-tone infotainment system that I'm not very happy with. But who cares about that when you're having fun driving, right? Oh yeah. That was some brisk 30-mile sports sedan driving we were doing on those tight mountain curves. I'm kind of curious what the fuel economy was, so let's pull over and take a peek. Holy Toledo, 11.6. That turbo really sucks up the gas, doesn't it? That's more than the Dodge Hellcat I had, around 12.5. Well, who cares when you're having fun, right? We're going to take one last fuel economy test and see if this vehicle can redeem itself as far as fuel economy goes. Let's see what happens. On our first highway trip, going slightly uphill, we got 22.8 mpg. On our second highway trip, going slightly downhill on our return, we got 27.1 mpg. If you add those up, divide by 2, that would give you a real-world estimate of around 25 mpg if you're driving on level ground. That's pretty close to the 26 mpg claimed by the EPA. If you're interested in long-term fuel economy figures, here's a trip computer reading for you. Since this vehicle was delivered from Acura, we've had me and other drivers testing this out. And a total of 1,022.7 miles is what was driven, and 20.9 mpg is the average fuel economy for the entire time. I don't know how the other operators were driving or what conditions they were in, but the EPA says the average fuel economy combined should be 21.0 mpg. So I would say 20.9 is pretty darn close. So what's my take on the RDX after a week of driving and around 650 miles? Well, I finally figured out how to operate the infotainment system. I still don't like it, but I figured it out. And that's without reading the owner's manual. So give it a week. You'll probably be able to figure it out too. But as far as performance goes, I have no complaints whatsoever. It's a great daily commuter. Go to grocery shopping, pick up the kids, but at the same time it has the performance of a sports sedan. About as good as a lot of the European brands you see. And the price isn't that bad either. So if you like Japanese technology, I say go ahead.